So thank you very much for all of you for being with us today. I would like to thank Sanjam and Maritime SheEO for the second year of hosting me as a panel with me as moderator and with all of you. I will go immediately to present the speakers of this panel, friends and speakers from all over the world. We're here from India, UK, USA, Greece, and Netherlands. And we're having Priscilla Araujo, Operations Manager for the Port of Rio de Janeiro and Sepetiba, Wilson Sands, Brazil. Michael Cokinos, Account Manager, Shell Marine, Texas, USA. Meera Kumar, CBO, Diabos, India and United Arab Emirates. Matsikoudis, Area Sales Manager, Wärtsilä Voyage Solutions in Greece. Willem, Spijker, Commercial Manager at Multraship, Towage and Salvage, Netherlands and Belgium. And Gina Panayiotou, CVO of Oceans Arena. My friend Gina is always trying different titles, and concept founder of It's All About Shipping in London, UK. So thank you very much, and I would like to welcome all of you. And before starting to making you the questions, asking you specific questions in order to let us know about the title of the panel, that it's going to be, it is, did you know that every port is a hub of job opportunities itself? I would like from each one of you to present a little bit what is your daily routine, what your title hides from us, and what you're doing every day. So can I start with Priscilla, please?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Maritime SheEO for this opportunity to be here today, talking to you about such relevant topics. As you know, my name is Priscilla Araujo. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I have a degree in International Relations and an MBA from the IBMEC Institute. I have been working for Wilson Sons for 10 years, and as some of you might know, Wilson Sons is the largest integrated maritime import logistics operator in Brazil and has been operating at national level for over 118 years. I'm currently responsible for the Towage division at Rio de Janeiro and Sepetiba ports, where I oversee a fleet of 7 tugs and manage a staff of more than 80 onshore and offshore workers, all of which are men. Happy to be here today.
Although we know that shipping has more men positions than women, we can see that even at this panel, the percentage of the women is bigger than the men. So sometimes we can change the rules. I would like to ask from Michael to present a little bit also himself. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Danae. So I'm Michalis Cokinos, and I'm a key account manager with Shell Marine in Houston, Texas. I support the U.S. Northeast as well as Canadian market. Prior to my role with Shell, I was with Avin International in Athens, Greece. But my main focus day to day is supporting vessel owners and fleet operators commercially with marine lubricants and fuels. So thank y'all.
Thank you. And I would like to continue with Meera.
Thank you so much, Danae, and apologies to the audience if there are sounds of firecrackers from the background. I'm trying to keep it silent here, but not in my control. So lovely to meet all of you. My name is Meera Kumar. I am a shipping professional for over 25 years. I've worked extensively in agency, stevedoring, in technology for the last 6 years. And today I head Diabos, which is a global DA and cost management service company serving the trades for port cost management, post-fixture services, and several digitization services. So real pleasure to be with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you too. Christos?
Hello, thank you, Danae. Thanks to Maritime SheEO. Thanks to our distinguished panelists and our audience for this opportunity. My name is Christos Matsikoudis. I'm an area sales manager at Wärtsilä Voyage Solutions. I lead a team of sales managers and coordinators for supporting the Eastern Mediterranean region. What we do at Wärtsilä Voyage is that we leverage the latest digital technologies in order to support what we call smart marine ecosystem. This is a vision which entails the trendy topics, as you know, of digitization, decarbonization, optimization, automation. I joined the shipping industry some time ago by representing two big weather companies. But prior to shipping, I worked at technology firms and served various industries such as retail, wholesale, pharmaceuticals, and tried later to communicate these best practices that I acquired from these industries to a more traditional industry as shipping. I studied mechanical engineering at National Technical University of Athens, and I've obtained an MBA from the Athens University of Economics.
Great, thank you very much. And Willem?
Good afternoon. My name is Willem Spijker. I work at Multraship, Towage and Salvage in the Netherlands, which is jointly owned by the Muller family and Fairplay Towage from Hamburg. Within the group, we operate towage services from in the range from Antwerp to Poland. My main focus area is harbor towage, but within our group, we also have a strong focus on sea towages and salvage. And besides my customer relations with harbor towage clients, my main focus is also on decarbonization our fleet, which brings a lot of nice challenges. So it keeps me busy. Thank you.
Great. And Gina?
Thanks, Danae, for the invite today. It's such a pleasure to be at the second Maritime SheEO Conference and, of course, be moderated by you. Your panels are always great and empowering the youth. I'm Gina Panayiotou. I'm a strategist and maritime lawyer with an MBA. I've worked mainly for the past almost 8 years in-house, ship owning companies from commercial shipping to cruise liners. And for the past year, I've set up my own consultancy practice, Oceans Arena. CVO is actually a Chief Visionary Officer, and it's a stolen title from Simon Sinek. And basically what we do, we help startups in the ocean sustainability era do the brand and legal strategies in a more approachable and bespoke way. So that's a few things about me.
Great, and we will start. I'm Danae Bezantakou. I did not say a lot about myself. I am also CEO of Navigators and Consultants, a robust network of ship agencies and towing companies from all over the world. We're also cooperating with Diabos in Greece. We're organizing Navigator, the Shipping Decision Makers Forum, and I'm also concept founder of Yes Forum of the Young Executive Shipping Forum, the platform that connects the young people with the shipping community. And I will go immediately to the questions of today, and I will start with Michael. The energy, oil and gas sector are at the center of climate change. And you know that everybody discusses about climate change these days because of COP26. I know that this is a title of an entire forum and not only of a question, of course. But can you share with us what a young person that joins shipping today should know?
Of course, and this is a great question or topic in itself of what a young professional should be doing within this new frontier. You know, we at Shell are really focused in setting a course of decarbonizing shipping in itself, as of many other companies, but Shell has really taken the responsibility to move forward and try to be the most innovative partner in the industry. But one thing I'd like to point out that we at Shell have definitely identified, as many as other players within the industry, as that there's no real silver bullet to how we're going to attack this complex challenge of net zero by 2050. And so with that said, there will most likely be many solutions to achieving this goal. And in addition, across all subsectors of shipping in itself. So in addition to shipping, there's going to be, as well as the industrial sector, as well as transport sectors, that will likely influence the outcome for shipping in itself. So one thing we've noticed in itself is that 90% of correspondents within the shipping industry have made decarbonization a complete priority. So with that said, as a young professional, I think it's really important to maintain a learner mindset within your approach to your career and making a difference, or making your own difference within the industry. So coupled with the learner's mindset, I think it's good to take the approach to think big, as well as once you think big and you can identify the problems, you start small, and then from there scale fast. So yeah, that's on a professional level. Now here at Shell, regarding decarbonization, what we're doing is developing future technologies. And so that's, for example, working with Kawasaki Heavy Industries regarding our first hydrogen containment vessel. In addition, reducing emissions through efficiency. So not only through softwares like JAWS, which is a draft software we've developed, and our strategic partners, as well as operational and technical support. On the trading front, biofuels and LNG. As y'all have seen, Shell has made major investments in LNG. And from there, a really nice topic to talk about nowadays is balancing emissions through carbon credits. I'd like to point out one of our customers, GasLog, who were the first to offset their carbon emissions by purchasing marine lubricants through Shell. So with all that highlighted, if you don't mind, Danae, I'll move into question 2, if that's okay. And
of course, we'll go to the question number 2, which has to do about the spectrum of job opportunities that the energy and fuel sectors offer today for a young person. What qualifications should they have? Because every time we speak with young people, I think you in the countries that you represent, and here in Greece, we do it. Most of the young people now, one of the main questions is, what qualifications I must have in order to enter this complicated world of shipping?
This is true, and I'd like to start this off. I think willingness and willingness to learn and to work hard are 2 major qualifications that are above all. That's one thing. On the educational front, I have a maritime degree from the Maritime Academy here in Texas, as well as a master's from there. And I am now working towards another MBA from Rice University. So as you can see on the educational front, I'm big promoter, but I always go back to my maritime background. Though one other thing I would like to highlight, in referencing back to what we talked on in question 1s, this is going to be, as the maritime industry or the shipping industry itself is now going to become more of an ecosystem approach to just energy in itself. So with that said, we're going to see a lot more interdependence from other sectors like transport fuels, as well as the infrastructure developers. So like I said, with this ecosystem approach, there lies many opportunities to find your niche as a young professional. And it goes from the banking sector to the operationals, commercial sector, even we work closely with oceanographers when it comes to research for the materials to make batteries for fuel cells and battery cells. So like I said, this is a really interesting time and a good opportunity for us as young professionals in itself to treat this as a new frontier and be pioneers in the industry in itself. So.
Of course, and that shipping did not stop even for a day. So it's a great
Exactly.
prospect for the young people that at least they know that even a pandemic did not stop, did not manage to stop shipping going around. And I take the good opportunity to go to the technology lady of the panel. Of course, we're all into technology now, but to Meera, and I would like to ask the young generation, of course, and new technologies. Okay, it's also the new kid on the block. Young executives will be the ones who will implement the new technologies and platforms in shipping. According to your opinion, is shipping and young executives prepared for this transformation? Will the transformation change the way youth view our beloved maritime industry? And before you reply to the question, I would like to thank Michael. He has to leave the panel because he has an urgent meeting to attend. And we know that with the new hybrid life, we have to be online and in meetings at the same time. But we would like to thank you very much for being with us. And of course, we will stay in contact because oil will not disappear. Is it right?
Exactly.
Okay, great.
And
thank you, Michael.
thank you, Danae. And you have please, anyone reach out to me. I always like to end with that. Danae has all my information, and I love talking about this stuff.
Of course, great. Thank you very much. So, Meera, what's going on with this question? How can you reply this? It's a huge. It's not an easy question, but I think that you can manage it because you have to do with many young people.
Happy to. And I must first say thank you for asking the technology question second, because, in most seminars, you finish with everything and the last session would be technology, because sadly in the industry still, in the order of precedence, we still seem to put it second to last or just at the last. So thank you for changing the order of things here. It's a really interesting question, and one which I actually spent time thinking about, Danae. Most of us in this panel have been many years in the industry, and I think technology is what has kept us young and what has kept us relevant. And therefore we have a lot to thank technology for. Your question was specific to are the young people prepared for the adoption of new technologies? That was the first part of your question. I think they're more than prepared. I think they're born expecting a minimum level of technology to be in every facet of their life. I think they come into companies, interviewing us, if you will, as to how technology can help them do their job. And many of us old timers resent it at times because we feel that if you can't rely on your own wit or more traditional methods, what are you going to do when technology fails? But that may not be the best way to see it, because this is still the early days of technology in maritime. So things are going to get far more exciting from here. So I think they are correct to come in and interview companies to see their mindset on technology. So the answer to the first question is I think they're more than prepared. Does being prepared mean knowing how to use technology? Not necessarily. Leaning back on what Michael said earlier, which I completely agree with, it's more the learning mindset. If you want technology, and technology by nature makes it always easy to use. A good technology is dummy proof. So it makes itself easily understood and easily adapted. So I definitely think that the new generation is already well equipped. Will it change the way they see our industry? I think the answer is a resounding yes, and I'm really happy about that, because 25 years ago, when I was introduced to maritime, I fell in love with the industry, and I still am there. And I think in the recent past, it's been difficult to get good young people here because of this mismatch of expectations. So I think having technology infused in every aspect of our maritime industry is going to make this a very exciting place for young people again. And interestingly, it's going to be statisticians, it's going to be tech experts, it's going to be, trend mappers, and it's going to be traditional operational experts. That'll be the mix, as I see it, of the new shipping. I hope that answered, Danae.
No, you answered very well, and I will just add that it's also, there is technology sometimes does not have the long-term commitment. I mean, technology is changing every day. So the commitment is not the same to a specific project. On the contrary, in shipping, you must be long-term committed and in love with this sector. So what I think that we must work a little bit more to the young people that will enter shipping and technology into shipping is this long-term commitment to the sector, because it will not be easy to change sectors and into shipping. And I will take this opportunity to give the microphone, to pass the microphone to Priscilla, because she's also working for a company that is a towing company, but is very much technologically oriented. Although they are also giving a lot of attention to the human element, because it's very important. And you also have the great, let's say, advantage of being a woman in shipping, which is, and you're performing extremely good. I mean, your position is very high, and in a company that we said that is also very innovative. So what you would suggest a young lady entering today a shipping company, and what was that motivated you to succeed and not to stop, although there were no female operations manager in the company?
Well, thanks for the performance extremely well compliment. I truly hope that it came from my boss. I have to say that I was not probably the first woman. I was the first in my company in operations management, and I'm very proud to pave the way for many to follow, and I'm sure they will. Shipping is in fact a broadly male environment, but it has been changing a lot nowadays, and with more and more women coming to the sector. However, few of them are in or ever reach a leadership role. So what advice can I give for women who want to get into shipping? I would suggest not to be intimidated by this male environment. They must act as equals, show their abilities, and pursue their goals. Shipping is captivating, as you told, and the natural ability of women to multitask is a perfect fit for this area.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now,
yes.
For the second part of your question, what motivated me? Well, I have always been driven by challenges, and although succeeding in getting a leading role as a woman was indeed a challenge, it was easier because I love what I do, and reaching my professional objectives as a person may have been more important to me than the fact that I'm a woman. But the truth is, we need to change the scenario of not seeing women in leading roles in shipping. The motivation should be the job, not the gender. In summary, that's what I believe, Danae.
Exactly. When you love what you're doing, there is no gender into this. You just love what you're doing, and this is what I also replied in a panel that I was invited yesterday for a new incubator for entrepreneurship in Greece, when they asked me, what's going on with the young entrepreneurship, the youth entrepreneurship, or the women entrepreneurship? And I said that entrepreneurship does not have a gender. Sorry to say this to you. It has to do with the capable entrepreneurs and the non-capable entrepreneurs. So the same I will say for the people in shipping. But if you love what you're doing, there is no gender, and everybody respects you. And we will go now to the man of the towing world, because you are also having a great career, and the company Multraship, Towage and Salvage is a towing company with a long history in shipping service, some of the busiest ports of Europe. Could you explain how important are towing services for vessels operations and what the future holds?
Yes, I think basically Towage is safety. We assist vessels with escorting and mooring and unmooring. And we also assist vessels at sea that are in distress, for instance, with engine troubles or whatever can go wrong. So I think it is inherently to do with safety. And to say what the future holds, nobody knows, of course. I think the near future holds that we are all looking for alternative fuels to cut our emissions. The midterm future, I think we are looking at remote controlled operations, especially for mobilization stretches. And in the long future, it might be autonomous sailing or even swarms of smaller tugs that are deployed by software systems or whatever you can imagine. I think that's the beauty of our profession, is that we can dream, and we can only work towards that dream in many aspects.
Of course, and it's very important also in the skills. In all what we say is great to have the technology, but sometimes even the human element and the reaction to the emergencies, because every day is different in shipping. So I think that if the computers manage to arrange everything in shipping, then we can all stop working worldwide. So it's not easy because there is so many new cases every day. And this is what I would like to ask Christos, because we are, you also mentioned many times that we speak because we have been in a few panels together about the smart shipping and technologies. Of course, this is what Wärtsilä is also doing, and you have to, to promote what you're doing. But what should the young people have in mind when they're listening to these terms, and how is connected to ports? What are the new job opportunities, professions, collaborations that a young person can chase in order to work for shipping from your point of view?
Okay, that's a really great question. I would say about the young person, what we have in mind, nothing that she or he doesn't know already. It's about digitization. The world is moving towards this direction. The shipping industry too is transforming to digital. So now we're talking about terms like connectivity, super high efficiency, greater safety, enhanced environmental performance. Actually, at Wärtsilä, our products like Smart Move, Smart Dock, Smart Endy can give actually a hint on where we're heading. And we serve this agenda by harnessing the capabilities of the technologies and concepts like artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud, big data, Internet of Things, in order to create a superior digitally connected ecosystem, as said before. So as we speak at Wärtsilä, we have connected 11,000 vessels and 300 ports globally. Now, in a circular economy like shipping, it is important that decisions need to be what we call timely. And today, shipping companies and ports, they have the crucial problem of quality data collection, but that's not enough. They need to be able to translate fast the data into reliable and actionable information. So they can do that only by acquiring know-how of all these information technologies. So a lot of new specialties, to answer the second question, which have been emerged in order to support, analyze, utilize, evaluate technology and products, like, for example, IT specialists, data and business analysts, various consultants, support roles can be occupied in modern shipping. And of course, there's also, the all-time classic sales profession. I have to tell that as a salesperson, because someone needs to move the industry with smart business proposals.
This is also very, very good to hear all the aspects, what I mean, of what's going on. Gina, you have to do with many young people all these years. You are very young also, but you are doing many panels and moderating and speaking into panels. Together we have been in many panels, and also when we We did the first Global Young Shipping Forum with Yes Forum, gathering young people from all over the world. And the reason that we are also doing many panels with many young people from all over the world is that shipping is worldwide. I mean, shipping is not only, it's a worldwide job. It's not a local job. It's an international job. So many people, young and older, they are thinking during their lives to change country, to go to another country to work, maybe for better money, for better life. Are there specific links that can help in the process of finding a job in another country? And at which point would you suggest a young person to work abroad at a junior or at a senior level?
I think you're very correct in saying, I mean, shipping can really take you anywhere because it's such a global industry. Now there is huge opportunities, I mean, and there's different ways to go about it. Obviously, there's not a one size fits all. What I would say when it comes to relocation, like the main difficulty is like understanding and knowing your why. Why are you doing it? Because it's a move beyond your comfort zone. So it does have its own hardship. So it's really all about the mindset and whether you're looking at it as a new exciting journey with what it has to offer, or if and what the reason you're doing it for. Essentially, each has a personal reason and goal. When it comes to specific linking and networking yourself in the new place that you're looking to relocate, I think it's very helpful to try and reach out to maybe communities or people that can connect you to somebody locally there just to get a better understanding. That's probably a more realistic perspective. And also don't be as afraid to, reach out on LinkedIn to people that you think might be a good connection at a particular company you're considering, which is always very helpful. And then, of course, there's also very niche maritime recruiters who are global and can place you practically anywhere, depending on what you want. But just to make sure that you're on the right track, it's always good to get an understanding from a local. Now to answer whether junior or senior, I think, again, it comes down to your why. It's not there's not a correct answer to it. What I would say, if you're moving at a more junior level or staying in a foreign country after your studies, it's probably more easily to adjust and build your circle and adapt to the culture. But on the other hand, what I see, having talked to people who come on in junior roles, is that they have this nostalgic, perfect picture of how it's back home, and they've always got it at the back of their mind, and there's regret, so it kind of sets you back. So maybe when you relocate at a more senior level, as I did, even though I'll take your compliment of being young, but I did relocate like 10 years after working in Cyprus. You're more mature and more aware of why you're doing this and what you want, and possibly have a better understanding of, finding that job that really suits you. So
yes, and you may not still find it all over the world if you don't really want it. But yes, the very important thing is that when you are taking a decision in anything you want in your life, just to take just to be part of the consequences. I mean, not to try to blame somebody of your decisions, because they were your decisions and they must be your decisions. So this is very important, and of course it's up of why you do it. I mean, if you're older and you want to have a family, you will maybe stick in that country. If you're young and you want experiences, it's not going to be easy because you don't have the experience to handle the new experiences. So yes, I fully agree with you. Meera, there are some, now that we're saying about the consequences, and when you're saying something, we are hearing many times stereotypes of, one of the stereotypes that we're hearing very often lately is that the technology will replace the humans. The human people, I mean, the people. And many people, very well that we're hearing, if you use a platform, it may replace my job. So you are working in Diabos, that you cooperate with many operators, owners, brokers, and I don't believe, because we're also cooperating together, that anybody has been replaced by Diabos, but they have given a better life, business life. How can you explain from your point of view, because you're speaking with many people all over the world, how platforms help the operation and commercial departments, because of your case, it's the operations and commercial departments in all maritime stakeholders without having an intention to replace them. And what are the reactions from all the kind of ages, and maybe a little bit more from the young people? Do you believe that there is still a fear that the technology may replace them?
Thanks, Danae. That's a big question, and I guess a slightly controversial one, but I love those kinds. So thank you. I think the statement comes from a very natural fear of change, and technology is revolutionizing our industry and many others before maritime, and it comes from a space of not understanding. Because end of day, as I see it, many people use the same words before me. Many of the speakers, we use the word ecosystem, we use the word knowledge sharing, we use the word facilitating better decisions. So for all of this, if you notice, an ecosystem connects various people, end of day, and companies. It doesn't replace them. Knowledge sharing connotes that it has to be shared between, point A to point B, not replace it. And even terms like Chris used earlier on artificial intelligence and machine learning and all of these are designed to aid the human being, as I see it. The only areas that will perhaps naturally dissolve will be those areas where we are repeating or doing non-intelligent work, or duplicating, or leading to error due to multiple handling. Those are the little few things that will sort of naturally evolve and dissolve. But I do think that, for example, in Diabos, we deal with over 8,000 agents globally. We deal with many times that in terms of other port vendors. There was a feeling maybe 20 years ago when such business started that multiple parties, competitors could not be on the same platform. And today, 20 years later, more and more people are looking at getting on the same platform. Those initial fears of, what if my competitor knows about me? Or, will it be easier for them to find my client? Or, is it all going to become about price? 20 years later, we realized it was unfounded, because people found ways to distinguish their own business value, and business actually flourished. It became easier to go global without having to set up entire offices and then slowly make inroads. Digitization allowed companies to move shores very easily. So I do think, Danae, briefly, that the ecosystem is such a beautiful word, because it basically, I think, has a huge human element to it. It connects us, it feeds us, it nurtures us, it gives us more transparency, and it helps everybody get an equal chance at growth. It actually eliminates a lot of the differences between very large and very small companies. Both get a sort of an even chance at proving their value, proving their growth, and it increases visibility into even small markets. You wanted to move to a part of the world you've never lived in, or never moved to, or shipped with, or done business with before. If you have a platform you trust, you do this with very little need for your own due diligence and your own risk mitigation. So I think that it's very unfounded, these fears. And I think in terms of young people, honestly, have less of these fears. It's the middle and senior level people who still tend to worry as to what technology might or might not do to them. But I think, my personal opinion, it's unfounded. And as long as one chooses the right partners, it can be transformational.
Exactly,
Thanks,
the
Danae.
teamwork. I would ask Priscilla about the pandemic and the challenges that they're facing, but she's facing a challenge about an emergency into the port. So she has to go, and this is shipping. So Priscilla will not ask you about the challenges, but we will have you in one of the next panels in order to tell us if you managed to to face the challenge. So Priscilla, it was very nice having you from Brazil, and we wish you all the best in this emergency. And let's hope that we're sure that you will manage to face it. So
Yeah,
the
sure.
best. Thank you.
Thanks again for the invite, and I hope to see you soon.
Of course.
Okay,
of
till
course.
next time.
Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
So I would like now to go to Willem and ask, how did you decide to work in this part of the shipping sector? What are the main qualifications somebody should have in order to join a commercial department? Except not being afraid that the technology will replace them.
Well, I was born near the sea here in the Netherlands, so shipping had my attention from a very young age. And after I went to a school in Rotterdam, I came back here to the southwestern part of the Netherlands to join a shipping agent, where I worked for about 13 years before I wanted to broaden my horizon to other parts of shipping. And I think shipping agencies have a very good, how do you call it, a base. It gives you a very good base knowledge of all the parties that are involved. So I could really make a choice in which parts I would want to go further. And then, well, in our area, Multraship is a very well-known company with a good, which is a good place to work. What do you need to work at the commercial department? I think you need a good knowledge about the business, about your own business, but also the business of your counterparts. And personally, you need to be interested in other persons and other companies to have a deep understanding of their needs and how you can help. And then from there you can build an equally beneficial relationship. And I think that's the most important thing that you need to do.
And also have the ability to how can I say, to get closer to many different cultures from all over the world, because we cooperate many years, our companies. I can say that, okay, you have to do with mainly the Greek mentality from us, but there are also some foreign companies in Greece. But it's not easy because every country has different mentality. So it's not a specific way of selling into a shipping commercial department.
Yeah, that's for me it's kind of natural because that's what we do all day. But indeed, it's very important to adapt to your counterparts. That's talking to somebody from Greece or something else. And, yeah.
As we say in shipping, we never know everything. Nobody's perfect except the captain. So, Christo, can you please describe us also, because it's also important, yes, not to make the promotion of our companies, but to say what we're doing. And this is why I'm also asking some info on the companies. What Naviport project of Wärtsilä Voyage is, and how many parties are involved in it, and in which way are these parties benefited? Because it's also a project that may benefit many new jobs in the world.
Jobs and stakeholders, I would say. The industry is moving to just-in-time arrival. So there are a lot of ongoing projects at the moment and initiatives already from the European Union, the IMO and Global Industry Alliance, PIMCO, Ship Traffic Management, International Task Force for Port Call Optimization. Naviport is Wärtsilä Voyage's awarded just-in-time arrival solution for the ports. And in other calls, we're talking about this digital port call solution. It is already used in some of the busiest ports in the world, Singapore, Antwerp, Hamburg, Valencia, and Tangier Med, which was also the first digital port call ever with a Hapag-Lloyd container vessel. In essence, it is a real-time communication regarding time of arrival between the vessel and the port or the terminal. And we're talking about required and estimated time of arrival. And that helps the vessel to regulate the speed and optimize the voyage. It helps the port to avoid congestion and to manage more efficiently its booking system. And also it helps the port and the towing agencies to plan the daily operations with more confidence and efficiency and less surprises. In general, we had a just-in-time case study in the port of Rotterdam, which showed that on average, a waiting day can be saved with just-in-time solutions. So all these lead to the real benefits of just-in-time arrival. It's the decarbonization and the cost benefits. So you have to consider that the maritime industry is calculated of losing some billions of dollars each year because the port calls are not coordinated transparently or not on time. Congestion is the port's enemy, as we say. So with Navport Now, coordination is much easier. The vessel's anchor time is reduced. The emissions of both voyage and port are reduced. Noise pollution is reduced. The ports are not forced now to spend for necessary infrastructure in order to solve these congestion-related problems. Overall safety is increased by removing traffic, fuel saving and enormous. So you understand that it's a no-brainer that all the industry is moving towards that direction.
So you believe that the next, I will not say 3 months because it's very short period, but the next 6 months, because the pandemic, we see that we're having new rising numbers in many countries, at least in Europe, with COVID. Do you believe that these technologies may help slowly the ports of not having congestions and this?
So of course, it's very important, and but mainly it's also the benefits are in the voyage. The vessels are saving, much fuel. They optimize their voyage. There's not, because the industry is getting to the super slow steaming, and that is very important that all these vessels come, in the right slots at the ports.
But always very important to filter which people will promote these platforms and will make these technologies happen in shipping, because shipping, as we said before, it was the only sector that did not stop due to the pandemic, and it is attracting lately many fans and newcomers and golden boys and girls, as I mentioned them, without understanding that it's not just it's not a sector just to to earn money or to create platforms, but a sector that runs the 90% of the worldwide trading. And I will finish this panel with the question to Gina, because she's always speaking about the young talent. And so you have replied it again. I don't know, sometimes I have to, to gather all these questions to you about talent and to see every 3-4 years what you are replying, and if this is changing. But I think that more or less it's the same. How young talent contributes to shipping, and strategy to fill gaps, how to attract talent to shipping. I tell you, I will do once again this question to you, but I think that we need to hear it, even if it remains the same or changes a little bit. So what you will say to us this year? It has changed it or it remains the same?
I think the main kind of umbrella is always consistent. So the young talent and talent in general is the future, full stop. But I'm very happy that you answer, that you repeat this question, because it will come down to what I will discuss about the strategy in a second. I will separate it in two kind of phases when it comes to young talent and how it contributes to shipping. So if we take, for example, climate action, one of the main drivers and the emphasis that is given is because of the social voices out there putting so much pressure on stakeholders and government heads. So that's quite important. So basically the future, and the debate on the future has gone public, and nobody does public better than Gen Z and millennials. I mean, they share what they eat for breakfast, they share everything that comes to the mind within a split second. Then secondly, one of the IMO's themes is how digitalization is driving the future of shipping. So with these two combined, and as the world has moved forward, COVID has proved how we have had to adjust to a virtual world. And as the world is moving forward, so is the shipping industry. So it needs to compete, and it cannot compete if it does not have this younger generation on board who have a different kind of more purpose-driven approach. Other things are more important to them. They adapt very quickly, as we have seen with COVID. They were the first kind of generation that were easily to adapt to working from home. They bring new ideas. They have a more reactive approach. Social media is all about reaction and quick reaction, so that's quite important. And now coming back to what you said and why I'm happy that you asked this question, I think in filling the gaps, and you know that I'm a very passionate brand ambassador of the industry, as you are also. You are my inspiration, in fact. We need to brand this industry better. I mean, that's another full stop and non-negotiable for me. We're not doing a very good job. We need to be putting out there more. I mean, it really makes the world go around. It didn't stop for a minute during COVID, and a lot of people don't know it. So things like what you do, and taking students to shipyards to see what it's all about, and just captivating them basically on what shipping does. Secondly, I think we also really need to try and cater our mindset a little bit to their needs, because shipping has a more traditional kind of mindset. So we need to somehow make it more sellable. Maybe the salesperson here can give us some tips on how we can do that. And it needs to grow towards a purpose that people will feel proud to be a part of. So in that respect, making it more attractive. And I'll also, on a final note, touch on what Meera said about technology. It's all about technology now. That's definitely changing the scene. So it's helping us to bring this new talent and attract it with new roles. But we also need to find ways of being truly inclusive and diverse and engaging them, because that's what they need to feel, that they are truly contributing, that they're making a difference. So it's very important for traditional shipping organizations to be much more open-minded and make sure that they are inclusive when it comes to bringing young talent on board.
And before closing this panel, are you positive for the future? Because the last 2 years, I think, have been very difficult and different and challenging for all of us. So, Christo, are you positive for the future?
Of course, yeah. Always positive. We're looking forward, Danae. We're looking forward. There is no other way. Yeah, and I think that we had our, the system actually was stressed a lot and tested a lot, and now I think that we can see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Willem?
I think you always have to be positive. It's there are a lot of challenges ahead, of course, but you have to think that they are nice challenges, and we have so many things to make better. And like the other speakers also told, a lot of young people are there in the world, and we can I think we can give them a great workplace, and so we can all move forward and just make it a better place. So it's I think
although the word positive is not so positive anymore, because when somebody says I'm positive, everybody is afraid if he's positive in COVID. Gina, are you positive for the future?
Yeah, that's so true with the word positive. But yes, for the future of shipping, I'm very positive. I think it's one of the most exciting times actually to be in the industry. But I also think that COVID, as challenging, as frustrating and distressing as it was, it definitely taught us to be more creative and more collaborative. So definitely a bright future ahead.
Great. Meera?
Absolutely, Danae. I think we all of us here feel a bit like survivors, There's been so many ups and downs, and here we are. So I think, and there's no industry that better demonstrates resilience than shipping and logistics. So even with the vaccines, right? So I'm extremely positive about the industry as a whole, for sure.
So with this positive, note, I would like to thank you all. The new hybrid life affected our panel. So two of the speakers had to go to emergencies during their speech. This is the new positive hybrid life. I would like to thank Chris, Willem, Gina, Meera, and of course Priscilla and Michael for participating in this panel. We had to manage India, UK, USA, Greece, Netherlands, and Brazil to be the same time at the same time panel, and we finally made it. So thank you all very, very much, and hope to meet again soon. And let's be positive to meet face to face and hug and kiss each other. Thank you all very much.